Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. We're back. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us this hour. Here's the scoop. This is Cameron Flask. Go ahead and say hi for those who are in the chat here. I'm joined with the other gentlemen. We're happy to be back this week. And this week's going to be a very fun, very fun challenge. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. But first, I want to sign in with our other captains here. So, Mr. Ben, how are you doing over there in Purple Rain Kitchen?
Yeah, I've gone to the special effort. I'm going to do a different color every week. I think I'm just going to wash the kitchen. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I am well. Yeah.
What are you using?
And you've
Is
had
that like
quite
a little
the.
Luxury? Oh yeah, he's.
No, it's the bowling.
Okay.
P1.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Love it.
And I've used that loads on this job I've just been on. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. And it sounds like you and Ben had, or I'm sorry, you and Jem had pretty interesting weeks with crazy travel and illnesses and all kinds of fun stuff. But I'm glad we're all back together. Jem, how are we doing over there?
Doing well, thank you. Very excited to be back after 2 weeks with Cameron Flask and to see you guys. It's been a heck of a couple of weeks that actually started exactly 2 weeks ago. So there you go. I'm here and I'm enjoying our purple rain over in the Czech Republic very much. It's bringing me joy. It sets the mood, the tone for this.
Well, it's midnight here. It kind of feels, it's
yeah. Sometimes
no,
sometimes I just wish that Cameron Flask was on a Friday, just because then you just roll right into the weekend. But then other times I don't. So I'm feeling good. Sinuses are clearing up. Yeah. What were you gonna say? Ben agrees.
No, I was going to say you'd feel like doing it on Friday, except when it's on Friday.
Oh, no way on a Friday. This is definitely better. 100 million percent. Yeah. And how are you, Mr. Caleb Pike, Golden Boy?
I am well, Golden Sir.
Oh, by the way, amazing episode this week on the Color Checker video, which I watched in its entirety and enjoyed immensely. And I think you did a fantastic job. So if people on the chat and watching have not seen it yet, I highly recommend it. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Speaking of chat, Chris, Travis, Harrison, Tony, I'm sorry, I have a monitor super far away where my chat is, so I can't quite make out.
Got Dan in, Jay going.
Thank you.
For Adam.
Going postal.
How you doing, buddy?
Yep, there you go. Yeah, of course.
Perfect.
Desmond, Mike, Jay. Yeah, we got. I haven't seen the grumpy penguin in a while. Maybe
that's true.
Penguin might be very grumpy, and we got a couple other cast of characters.
Woody's in as well.
Nice. All right. Well, here we are.
Daniel, Sky. Okay, here we go. So before we jump into today's kit challenge, let's quickly go over what we're going to be drinking, because I have a feeling this one's going to be we're going to need some time for these kits. So
I agree.
I go back to you, Jem. What are we drinking this week?
Oh, okay. So I was in San Francisco we were rapping Friday night. We went over to this place in really Emeryville called the Market, and there was a Japanese bar, and I got I did maybe I had a few scotches or whiskey that night. I had this one, and it was my favorite of the tasting flight at the end of the night. So I found it when I was in New Jersey. It's called Iowa, I guess, Awa, and it's Mars whiskey. It's about $42. It's a little alcohol-y on the nose. It definitely needs a little bit of water, but I enjoyed it. Not a smoky whiskey, not like the one we had when we were in Vegas. And I am going to drink it right now because I've been waiting all day to have a little bit of this. And Ben, what about you, brother?
Well, I am drinking what I've been drinking last week as well, I'm afraid, because I've just got back and have had no time to go find something interesting. I've been in Norway for the last 2 weeks, and there's no way I'm buying alcohol there to bring back. I paid. Now, for those of you in the United Kingdom who know what Carlsberg is, which is essentially...
I know what that is.
Watery piss. It's... I paid about $13 for a pint of that last night. A tenner, £10.
The question is, why did you order that?
because there was nothing else in there. It was in this airport hotel in Oslo, but that's normal. I paid £15 for a pint of something decent earlier in the week. It's the most staggeringly expensive country I've ever been to.
You better increase your meals and expenses rate. Okay, there it is. So you're back on the Scotch. Very nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good.
And what about Illinois?
Illinois, real quick. We're just gonna. Yep.
Oh,
now that I have something to show off
there
here,
it is.
I'm gonna get down here. So
there
this week, I can't remember which one you've had, Mr. Jem, but we're going Trader Joe's.
There it is. I've had the 8, not the 10.
This is the 10.
And you didn't enjoy it at all.
Casks.
I love that full bottle that you're opening.
Yep, and it's good to get this puppy
amazing
queued up here.
I love
Theatrics for everybody.
Oh my god.
I feel so much better about my drinking habits every time we go to Caleb's drink.
Oh my god.
He's pouring the dregs out the bottle.
All right. So, gentlemen,
cheers. And everybody in the chat.
And everyone in the chat.
What you're drinking.
Let us know.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Clink.
All right. There it is. Bingo. Here we are. Time to chatty chat. Ooh, daylight robbery. What else we got here? What are people having? Amstel fueled. We've got. What are people drinking?
I saw mineral water from Sir Chris. That's the only beverage I've seen.
Amstel, and then Dan said he can be the grumpy Dan because we don't have the grumpy penguin.
Got it.
I don't see 360 here.
Or part time. What is happening?
And where's Shiznuts?
Or Shiznuts? What is going on?
Maybe
we love everyone else here, though.
Yes, but maybe those cast of characters are out on a boat somewhere in the Mediterranean, getting into trouble. I don't know why they would do that. Green tea, okay. There's 360 grad hiding out in just trying to be low key. Unbelievable.
So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for this?
Yes.
Are we ready? We're gonna jump in and talk about this challenge for this week, and I would love to hear everyone's thoughts as we go along. What you would have chosen, or we can just all make fun of Jem. It's totally fine either way with me. I'm gonna make a slight correction here with my lens. Okay. This week I'm gonna do a little differently. Almost every single time I feel like I get these videos and then I have Ben go first and then Jem and then myself. I'm going to flip that around and I'm going to go first, get it out of the way real quick. And then Ben, it's to you. And then Jem's going to take up the rear.
Okay.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa. Watch yourself now. I'm not taking up any rear.
Don't give 360 grad any material here. Okay.
No, I understand. Okay.
So I'm going to move this window over here. First, I'm going to set this up, I suppose. I'm going to do this real quick. The challenge this week for the three of us, and it would be amazing if we have the community do this in the future. If you guys did, let us know. Please do. That'd be awesome. Is we had to come up with a kit that had to fit into 2 cases, both of which I believe are in the description. So please check those out on B&H. You should click on them right now, pull them up, look at the images so you can see what we're working with here. It's a backpack and a roller case. So the idea is you take those 2 bags and cases, you throw them on the plane, you hop on and you go fly a 2-camera interview, go film a 2-camera interview in a controlled environment. 5 nano stands are provided. So those are the Manfrotto nano stands. And everything else is up to you. Tripods, 2 cameras, 2 lenses, audio equipment, gripping equipment, lighting modifiers if desired. Did I miss anything? Under 6,000. Under 6,000.
So to clarify though, the nano stands are basically being checked with your clothing. So whatever's under the plane. And the 2 bags that you're using, the roller, which would go in your overhead compartment, and your backpack, which would go under the seat, those are also being provided. You got a sponsorship from Tenba or whoever it is. A couple of, the equivalents by Think Tank could be, similar. They have similar types of bags.
Sure.
But these 2 are pretty common. And I travel with these 2 bags, so I know that one will fit onto a regular airplane, not a puddle jumper. You have to go smaller for the puddle jumper, and then the other one under the seat. but everything else,
Yeah.
whatever you decide you're bringing, has to essentially go into those 2 bags.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is the criteria. That's the challenge. All that information is in the description in case you are going to join late or just joined us.
Yep.
So I'm going to knock this one out and then pass it over to Ben.
Mm.
Let me go ahead and do a screen share. Sharing. All right. Is that showing up?
Yes.
Okay. So here is my grand total.
Oh my God.
I got $1.07 remaining.
Nice
And by the
job.
way, for those watching, we do this on B&H just to keep it fair.
Yes.
And
And we don't include sales tax. So that is
no sales tax, or
that's
else
fine.
this I
Yeah.
would have lost for sure. All right. So let's do this.
Okay.
Camera number 1. Because we're
Mm.
doing 2 cameras, Fuji X-T2,
Yep.
and I went with a used one. Picked it up for $869.95.
Nice job.
Second camera,
Mm.
another X-T2, and I scored this one with the 18-55 zoom, which will give it me some flexibility.
Yep.
You know, again, if we're doing a 2-camera interview, controlled environment, I think these would work fine.
Yep.
Lens-wise, Fuji. Let me move this window up a little bit. Fuji 35 f2.
Nice.
Again, used.
That's the lens I'm using right now, actually.
It's wonderful.
It's
wonderful
a delight. It's a delightful lens.
It's an adorable size as well.
And Chris made a nice comment. He said, "I guess Caleb must have used the new Paybu card to get his sales tax rebated."
There you go.
Love
Paybu.
it. Okay, Paybu. Hello,
All right.
Paybu.
And one more lens, the 50.
Ah,
Just because used, these worked into the budget
Amazing.
nicely. So I wanted to go Canon this time, believe it or not. For those who think I'm a Canon hater, I really wanted to go Canon just because I think dual pixel and Canon for stuff like this is great. But I also really like log, and getting into that was going to be difficult. I almost went with 2 C100s, but again, we got to fit this stuff in cases. So
I got a quick question on this whole challenge, which we didn't talk about with the setup, right? So we're saying we're going to film a two camera interview. We didn't talk about, this is just going to come back later, we didn't talk about the setup in terms of the crew for this.
No.
It's all so it's all you.
Including being the interviewer.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't.
Okay.
Needs a human being to hold the boom pole. We'll figure that out later. No,
well,
we didn't really stipulate that at all. So you could have an assistant.
Fine.
I don't see why you couldn't have an assistant.
You've got one extra crew member. Let's just say that. Fine.
Okay.
Fine.
All right.
All right. So camera and lens is taken care of. The problem with these cameras is power. So I threw in a pair of these tether tools.
Well, Adam, what were they drinking when they came up with the name Paybu?
I agree.
Maybe they were. I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
No, I think that's well
Ridiculous.
said. So two tether tools.
Okay, so talk to us about this.
So that's like lots of power. They plug their USB. They have a built-in UPS, and you're good to go on power forever.
And why do they have 1-star ratings? Are they good? They're great.
2 idiots reviewed it. It's just a coupler. They probably thought that was the entire system. So you need both these. You need the battery part, the fake battery, and you need the tether tool.
God, you're so smart. Damn you.
Okay.
And you did the math. You did the math in the wish list to make sure that your dollars are right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know you. Okay.
Yeah, I added it all up in the old cart. Okay. Silk Pro 340 DX. So these are very compact. I think they pack down to 16 something or 17 inches. And their circumference is fairly, or diameter, I always get those mixed up, are fairly small. So you could put one in the case, the roller, and then one in the pocket of the roller and still probably fit everything, but it's hard to tell, obviously. Heads. I went with Ben and I's budget, cheapo, get her done head of
my EOS R is mounted on that head right now. It's
I have to buy one. Can somebody send me a link to that thing so I can just buy one? Because I want to test it out.
It's called different things. It's the Velbon.
Well.
Right. It's all the same. Yeah. The Magnus, the Vel. I'm pretty sure Magnus, i.e. B&H, bought them. Yeah. So you get rid of the handle and you're good to go. Super lightweight, plenty good for locked off stuff. Even little movement. DD
There you go,
D3
yeah.
Pro for the shotgun microphone. This is my only microphone, my only source of audio.
Interesting.
So I kind of cheaped out on this one, but if it's a controlled environment like we were talking about, if I knew I'm going to film in a hotel room or a ballroom, this is fine. It's going to sound so much better than a wireless system.
Okay.
So yeah, went with that. A ball head for that.
Yeah.
So that's one of my Nano stands right there. Boom.
I understand.
Okay.
So
I'm
you're gonna get it.
underslinging.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
fine.
Because I can't get a boom arm on one of those stands.
Nope.
So we got to
Understood.
undersling, which I've done in the past. Underslinging is doable
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're paying attention to what the ceiling's like and all that stuff.
I have
And
to.
you can
It's
turn
a
the
medium
aircon
shot.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a medium shot. It's a medium. You're not. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So that's that, and then an extension cable for that to go
So you
into
can
one
get
of the
it from the
cameras.
camera too. Yep. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Lighting. Westcott Flex
Wow.
Bicolor
Wow.
1x2.
Yes.
Having used this, I think it would work on a Nano stand. I went back and forth with other options, but I just don't feel comfortable putting anything else on a Nano stand. This is
would
probably
work.
No.
Yeah, this is where I would top out probably.
Yeah.
And then for the modifier, so that comes with a little silk in the front. That'll be a nice stage one.
Garbage.
Well, it's not
it's
a
pretty much
thousand
garbage.
tiny lights anymore as much.
No, it helps, but it's
Yeah.
it's not going to do. Yeah, right.
It's got enough output where you can throw it out there for kicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So doing a 4x4 Westcott, and this is where I'm about to get either okayed, green lighted by Jem, or shot to pieces because I'm not that familiar with the system. But I've got the 4x4 full stop.
Yeah.
And then for the pieces to build up a 4x4 that'll fit into a case.
Yes.
I went with 12 10s, 10 inchers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is building the frame. For those who are unfamiliar with this, they all snap together. A bunch of the 2 inchers to connect the 10 inchers, and then the corners. And I think I got it right.
I think your math is right.
To build up a 44 or 48.
Yes. Well, each straight connector is an extra inch, and each corner connector is an extra inch. So, you might be 45 by 45. I don't know.
Okay.
But
it'll be a saggy 4x4.
It's a pass. It's
Okay.
but I think it's a pass. I think okay. We'll let it go. I'm letting it go because you're gonna have to let something go with me when you try to, shoot me down.
So it'll still Velcro on. It'll just be a little saggy. That's all. It'll be not perky.
Yeah.
4x4.
Lots
45 by 45.
That's
And to
fine.
hold that, I'm going to use 2 Nano stands and then a pair of mini grip heads and mini Mathelinis.
Love them.
So 2 stands, 1 on each side, with that bicolor firing through it. And I think that's more than enough.
Yeah.
5-in-1 reflector that packs down enough to sit inside of the case for a fill. And that just is going to hang on one of the Nanos. So now I've got, I think, 1 stand left. Or no, that's all of them, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't recall. We'll find out.
Okay.
So yeah, and then 2 of these Aperture F7s.
Yeah. Man, every single one of these we've done now.
There it is. That's true.
Featured.
Every single time. So 2 of these because you can use them anywhere. 2 Manfrotto Pixies to mount those. So I could just throw them around the room, splash some light somewhere.
Yep.
And then 3 of these batteries, USB batteries. 1 will power both of the cameras because that whole system to power the cameras earlier is USB. And this has 2 USBs that are powerful enough. And then the other 2 will go to the aperture lights, which are powered off of USB-C. So I don't have to mess around with MPFs. And that's it.
Okay.
So 2 Fuji X-T2s. So I'm able to do 4K log. A couple lens options and kind of skimping on audio. That's where I'm really skimping. Keeping it pretty minimal.
But a nice round out in terms of lenses for sure.
Yeah. And I felt if I'm gonna skimp on audio, I'm gonna go with a shotgun so that I'm not like if I threw like a anyway. So that's the scoop. And
I like it.
Go ahead and stop sharing. Go back to my face.
Now wait a minute. So 5 stands. So you got 1 stand for the Westcott 1x2.
Yeah. So here's the deal. 1 stand for
the frame.
Right.
You got 1 stand for one for audio, and then 1 for the reflector.
Oh, there it is. Yep. That's
And
all
one's an
5.
air fryer. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, Colin from Melbourne. Melbourne. I hope you're having some of that good coffee from down there. I've heard nothing but good things about your coffee. I like it, Caleb. That was a pretty intense, long list.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's taken care of. Now we're gonna be heading over to Sir Ben.
Okay.
I'm excited.
to
I'm
remember
so
how we do
stoked to
this
see what
screen
everyone
share.
How is he
scared.
supposed to monitor the audio? He has an iPhone, so he has a pair of phones in his pocket.
Damn it. I brought my earbuds. I don't
Can't get it.
have those fancy AirPods, so I'm good.
You can't get anything by this crew.
One
Mhm.
thing I forgot that I didn't include, because when I did that screen capture,
Yes,
was
sir.
2 64 gig cards. That's also in there.
They're in there as part of that price.
Correct.
Okay, good.
I came under by like 30 something dollars, and then I was like, crap, SD cards.
Okay, so Jago, there you go.
But
That's
no
what I got.
headphones, so good call.
Okay.
Good call on that. You can't believe now, Sky. You can't believe that was 6K, as in it was that much money, or you can't believe he got that much crap for 6K. Oh, adds up so quick.
The only
Yeah.
reason it worked was the used camera and lenses. 2 used cameras, 2 used lenses. Otherwise, this would have been impossible.
I've done that in the past, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, and used B&H is totally cool. You're allowed to do that.
Okay, good.
I try not to go too crazy there. But... All right, so Ben.
I like you like my son. He makes up his rules as he goes along. Oh, he's starting with lighting.
Oh my gosh. Wow, those lights though.
All right, but firstly, I'm going to say because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about the bare bones, not the detail of this particular challenge. And I was thinking this is great because I spent the last 2 weeks doing this exact thing, shooting 2 camera interviews and flying and traveling between all these locations. So I was hoping I was just going to be able to open my bag, and that's not what's happened. So this is quite in my head, this setup, and today has been a big day of travel. So if this stuff doesn't work and doesn't fit in bags, you're going to have to be slightly lenient with me.
You're legitimately pardoned.
Okay, thank you.
You're okay.
All right, so we'll start with light. So
continue.
All right, so key light, gone for the 120 with the light dome. Yeah. That packs down pretty small, doesn't it? The mini.
This is the original 120, but you're getting it for a good price. So that's
is that a used one?
Yeah. Nope, it's new.
Oh, interesting. So they must.
Yeah, that's new.
Okay.
I have got some used gear in here, but that's new. And the light dome Mini 2 is also new.
Interesting.
And then the F7, which has featured, as I said, in every one of these we've done.
Yep.
And then I have the Luxley Viola.
Yeah.
So the last week when I've been shooting all this stuff on these oil rigs, they don't like things shot in offices because it doesn't put it in context of the rig. But there's every now and again, and they're also not particularly great offices in terms of the walls. There's not much on them. And just having this, which is actually the Bowling P1, but similar in functionality, being able to just wash a wall behind with purple. I would nothing quite this strong, but just being able to make things look a little less flat is really useful. So that's why I've gone for that.
And then quick mention on that. They just came out with a version 2 of this light where they've reconfigured the LED array so that they now have everything sitting on each chip. So both whites and RGB are on each chip, which makes it
interesting.
A little more even. And then they've also added gels and other functionality. And I've seen the new app looking good. So there you go.
Nice.
Very cool. And just on that as well with the P1, which I've been mega impressed with. The build quality on that thing is fantastic, and it's cheaper, but B&H don't stock it. So there you go.
Yeah,
but I'd have saved quite a lot of money on that one. All right, and then I've got a pair of NP F970s with a charger to run the F7 and the Viola.
Got it.
And then I've got the flag kit here just for controlling a little bit, because we've got those 5 stands, and this is 279. And again, Caleb and I saw a very similar kit to this at NAB for a little less money. And they've she's been emailing me the last 2 weeks asking if I want it, but the shipping to here doubles it.
But so it's not worth it.
Yeah, it is, because it's still way cheaper than that, even with the shipping. But yeah, so we got that. And then reflector, I was looking for something that would pack down fairly small for Phil.
Is that small enough though, Ben? I don't know if that's going to fit in those bags. I was going to.
No, don't start. Right, you see these flexi wire things, so you can bend those back on themselves.
They're 2 pieces.
And then it's just a fabric.
Because I was going to get that, but I didn't think that they would bend on back of themselves, and I was keen on that for sure. That was early in my cart. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then I've got grip heads. I've got 3 grip heads.
Wow.
And then I've gone
for grip heads too.
The cheapest grip heads.
Yeah.
That's why they're that's why they're the full size one. And then I've got this the same head as you, Caleb, although the different brand name, but it's the exact same thing.
Right.
And a set of Benro sticks for that to go on. And then I've also got a used Manfrotto stills tripod, the stills head, because one of these cameras is for sure just going to be locked off. Probably both.
Are you guys duct taping these tripods to your bags? Because the length of that tripod, my friend, I'm just saying, just giving you a hard time. That's okay.
It folds up a lot smaller than it looks on there, Jem. That second one.
I believe you.
I haven't got the spec up, but it's really short. Yeah. And I've got NTG2 for my mic for shotgun.
Okay.
Nice. Just because price-wise, I think that's a pretty good compromise between performance and price.
Man,
there are better things out there for
he's
little
gone
more.
with. Gonna be exciting.
Do you like you see, this is exactly why I've done this. I'm teasing.
I should have reversed mine.
So I've gone for a boom pole and a boom pole holder, and one of those grip heads is going to sort all that out, and for attaching it, and a suspension grip holder for that. And I've also gone with a lav mic. What's he laughing at now?
Just a comment in the thing. Jem was about whiskey and stuff. Go ahead, I'm watching.
Okay,
go ahead.
It's all right. I'm just. And then I've got the Rode lav mic as well, and the connector to put that into an XLR. Because there's no need for wireless in this situation whatsoever, and you shouldn't really be using wireless unless you have to.
Yep.
So you're just gonna cause yourself problems. A couple of long XLR cables, and then for my cameras, I have a C100 and a 5D Mark II. Now I was
wondering where those XLRs were going into.
Yeah.
So I went with that because of the audio, and also because it's a nice image. And I looked through some forums to see how easy it was to match those 2 cameras. And I also noticed in our brief that there was no mention of 4K.
Why does it say quantity 2 on these cameras? Is it just because
on the cameras? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, but they're single cameras. It's one-on-one.
This is the wish list thing. I'll get to the total when we go to the shopping cart thing.
Okay.
So you have one C100 and one 5D.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So one C100, one 5D Mark II. Apparently, they are reasonably easy to match. You've also got the option of running Magic Lantern on the 5D too.
Dang it! That's right.
Okay.
That's kind of sketch to fly somewhere with. Although I've never heard of issues, or I've never had issues. I should say.
No. Yeah.
No. But to be honest, the mapping is actually not using that. There's certain profiles that you can put into the C100, which will get it very close to the 5D too. And then I've got 2 LPE6 batteries for the 5D, a memory card for each of those. So SD card for the C100 and a compact flash for the 5. And then lenses, I've just gone with 2 because I'd run out of money.
You son of a gun.
So I've gone for these.
What? Oh, is that a used one for $409.95? I might buy right now. It's on sale, by the way, for like $530. It's
Which
like
one's this?
the 17 to 55. Yeah.
Seriously?
It's like I might buy it.
Yeah.
And let me just say on the 17 to 55, I've had that lens on all week, and we've been filming in wild weather in the middle of the North Sea on 3 oil rigs I've shot in the last 2 weeks. And that thing is that's lived on the camera. It's so sharp. It's so good. It's such a fantastic, perfect range for that camera. This has been using the C200, but obviously the same for the C100. Love that thing. So I went for the zoom for the wide, so that you're often backed into a corner when you're doing these things, and having a zoom that you can just tweak in, just frame it up nice. But for the tight, a prime is fine, because you're normally, that's not really as important for having some flexibility in that. They're not the same manufacturer, so there'll be slight differences with matching. But in terms of having the two manufacturers of the cameras the same, color should be somewhere pretty close. So that's it. And the total for that, if I go over at the shopping cart, is $5,804.86.
Very nice.
Love
the kit. Love that you're so audio heavy.
And you always come under budget by a decent amount.
You really do.
Oh, not always.
No, there's that one time, and there's that one time
that we won't talk about. Yeah.
But now the only issues that I have with your list are we have 5 nano stands.
Yes.
Your grip heads weigh twice as much of those nano stands. So if you're using them as grip heads and sandbags together, then that would work out pretty well. And I'm a little dodgy on what's going to happen when you put, without a sandbag, your boom pole on that nano stand.
I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. That's going to be like putting a cinder block at the end of a fishing pole.
I've done this. Right. What you
really?
Do,
really?
Yes. You take your bag. Yeah.
So what you do? Here we go.
This isn't something you really want clients to see, but in a kind of a down and dirty setup, what you do is you hang one of your bags off the other end of the boom pole. Yeah.
You do a few Hail Marys.
So you counter it. No, honestly, if you can really balance it, because if you do it, I have like one of these kind of bags.
Yeah.
And you slide this on the boom pole, so you can balance it perfectly because you slide it down.
Damn you. Always has an answer for something. It's all that training. Dang it. Okay, fine.
Okay. That's all right. I'll take it.
All the training, all your specialized training. It's like you have Navy SEAL training for production. I don't even want to know about it. I'm done with you.
That was very good. Ben, I will say I'm not sure about all that fitting in the cases or those tripods, but that was well played. The 5D2 and the C100. That's a nice.
The C100 Mark I was amazing. I mean that you get huge points for that. And I cry every day that I made more money on my C100 Mark I's than any cameras I've ever owned. So even though I paid full price, it worked out okay.
You still got those?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that with my DVX. Maybe
you are
maybe
both of them.
No, I don't have to.
We'll talk to me. Let's talk.
We'll talk. We'll have a chatty chat.
Okay.
Kids, let's see what we've got here. First of all, just a very quick question that has been posed twice by Andres. Question: Hey Caleb, just got a Mix Pre 6. Do you know if I can input 2 mics into the 3.5 aux input with an XLR to 3.5 splitter?
Sort of. So you can use a left-right mono splitter to get 2 microphones into the 3.5. Unfortunately, it's XLR heavy on that unit, so I would consider getting an XLR to 3.5, similar to the Rode one, but one that converts phantom power to 3.5 or to whatever that is. What is it, guys? 3 volts or whatever?
I believe so.
That's what you want. I think Movo makes an adapter.
Okay.
So you can plug it into like a camera that has phantom power, and it'll power a 3.5 millimeter, I think. But it's tricky on that device. So I don't know if that was very helpful, but that's what I got.
You had headphones in there, right, Ben?
What? Sorry, I
Oh.
can't hear you. I can't hear you. Sorry. What were you saying?
Nothing. Didn't hear a word you said. Okay.
See, but again, I tend to use, if I'm doing those kind of jobs, which is what I have been doing the last couple of weeks, is rather than I never take not never, but I rarely take these because that's quite a lot of room.
Yeah.
So I do just use in-ear.
You could pick up a pair of these.
Which
all right,
honestly is all you need, right, Ben? Like all I use headphones on set for is to make sure there's no frequency issues or no
Exactly.
like glaring problems.
So I would disagree with that. I would say that I use my Sony HD25s because they're not noise canceling, but they do cancel out ambient noise, and so it's much easier for me to tell if there is something that is basically bleeding into the mic. So I'm not just listening for issues having to do with whether or not there's interference. I want to hear whether or not the mic is picking up an airplane or
absolutely,
a car coming by. Yeah, so it can be
like
hard.
I mean, if I'm on yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it makes
agree.
But if you're using decent in-ear ones that have got a decent fit into that are really filling your ear, you're getting the same thing. So you may not be able to hear quite as much nuance in the audio that you're.
But you'll be able to hear. You'll be able to hear the car and stuff. You're right.
But exactly. But what I'm hearing is only what's coming through the mic. I'm not hearing anything that's coming through beyond that.
I think we're all right about it. It's just that the Sennheisers for me really do a great job of getting rid of tons of the ambient noise, so I'm not confused. Like a lot of people will use the Sony 7506s, and I own 2 pairs of them, but I have a much harder time telling if I'm listening to ambient noise or the noise that the mic is picking up. But as soon as I put the Sennheiser HD25s on, it's much easier for me to discern because I'm not a sound mixer recorder. And I think that those ears are a little more tuned maybe than mine are to what's going on. I think that's just me.
Very nice. Yeah. I was gonna say, Jem, are you ready?
Oh my God, not really.
Is your spirit,
I don't
mind, and body prepared?
I've lost my whole spirit now. Here we go. Share. Do we see that? No. I'm gonna say present to everyone. You do? I'm gonna present to everyone. I know. Holy mother. Here we go, kids. So do you see the amount first and foremost?
Oh my gosh, 2 cents.
Wow.
Applause. That's amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That doesn't mean it's a good kit. Go ahead.
And I was really hoping that you were going to come out with something camera-wise and you were going to surprise us and do something but
no, I'm typical. No.
Are you calling a single camera a 2 camera because it's 4K?
So no, you can't have that. Absolutely no way.
Listen,
no. Because that's a lot of money on a Focus and with the XT3.
Hold
on.
Asshole. Can you guys wait a second? So first of all, this is a perfect example of how you are guilty until proven innocent by social media and the internet. Okay. So you haven't looked at my list, have you? You numb nuts. I'm not done here. I'm not trying to pull a fast one on anybody. First of all, I will tell you this: there is only a quantity of 1 for every single item that's inside of my cart. So I didn't have to do any adding up or special stuff. There's just a single one of each one of these SKUs. Okay. Then that does not sound like you believe me, but that's fine. I don't even know what the hell's going on.
A single one of these what's?
No, SKUs, stock keeping units. Yeah, the actual item number. So you'll see what I did in order to do that because this stupid wish list thing sucks.
Okay.
So I had to work on it. Okay.
No, I wasn't suggesting anything. It's just
of course you weren't.
You've got previous, and we've got to watch you.
Of course you weren't. Right. And it's episode 28 of Camera and Flask. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. So a camera. Let me just have one more little drink of my Japanese whiskey, which you can't see me drink, but I'm going to have a very big gulp of it right now. Okay, so a camera is obviously Fujifilm X-T3, and that is with the kit lens, the 18-55, the 2.8 to the 4. I'm committing here. I'm saying it's interviews, and I am going to stick with that. So that's my A camera. I have a small HD focus value bundle here for $400. That is going to do double duty. I unfortunately could not find on B&H's site the dummy battery for the Fujifilm camera. It does exist, okay? And I'm using it right now. And all of Small HD's dummy battery power adapters are $59.99. So I put the Sony in my cart because the dollar amount is the same. Okay.
Copy that.
So I am now going to power my camera from the Small HD focus monitor. I have an extra micro to full-size HDMI cable just in case I want to monitor my B camera, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then I have a dual charger with two F770 Sony NPF batteries for the focus, and it will also be for another piece of equipment that will come through on the list. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, and we move over to page 2, and look what we have, kids. We have a second in the silver color, which is a separate SKU, a separate item number, a second Fujifilm X-T3 with the 18-55. What is that?
Okay.
Why are you laughing? What is that? What's weird about that?
It's not. No. It's.
I have two matching cameras.
I'm just totting up your budget and what you've spent on those two cameras already.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep doing it. By the way, what's the total amount here? By the way, if you'd like to get a calculator out right now and add these up, I'll leave this on the screen for you for a moment, Ben.
Okay.
Just so that you can write it down. You want to take a screenshot right now, and I'll keep going. Let me know when you're ready.
You can keep going. This is
okay. Lake District.
Oh my God!
Wow!
How
Look
is
at
this
this.
possible?
He's got memory cards this time. Bloody hell!
It's true.
So I've got
Expensive
two mapping cameras while Ben is in post-production killing himself trying to make the 5D Mark II match the CM100 Mark I. I'm listening.
I'm just saying, but he'll have light. I have a hard time believing you've got much going on in the light department now.
He's got a box
We
of
could find a window somewhere and just call it a day.
Candle.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I'm just gonna have another
Continue.
drink. I'm just gonna have another drink of my whiskey here. Hold on one second.
This is breaking my mind already. I don't know what we're at. I wish there was like a tally marker in the corner that like went cha-ching and like it counted it all up for us.
Yeah.
But
okay,
wow.
So well, it is, and it's at the top of the list. It's $5,999.98, but that's okay. Again, you can add it up later.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, here we go. Just saying, locked off cameras. These little travel tripods will fit in the side pocket of the roller and also one of the side pockets of the backpack. Trust me.
Yeah. How high do those go at their maximum extension?
60
you got a bean bag for your interviewee?
60. Hey, they have a little hook, by the way. They're 60 inches at full height, which is plenty. This is a sit-down interview. And you then have the head, which is not included in that height, and then you have the camera. So I might drop that. Okay. Now, in terms of audio, what I'm doing is I am using the Sennheiser XSW lavalier as my main mic on Talent. I also have a Deity D3, which I'm going to undersling just like Caleb is.
Bingo.
So that I have one running into one camera, one running into the other. You need to have...
That's the sound of the aircon. That's the sound of the aircon that mic's picking up above your talent.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Your microphone, not mine.
But then again, at least my microphone's not falling on Talent with the janky. Okay, so the other little thing that you need to know is that the Deity microphone is very smart in the way it works because it can auto detect the connector. So it's basically a TRRS plug But there's an issue which Caleb is going to find out when he actually gets his XT2 on set, which is the pin input on the Fuji cameras is just ever so too long for that to work. So you actually have to get this Rode adapter, which is TRS to TRS, to make sure that your audio from your D3 sits properly in at least the XT3. I might be wrong about the XT2, but I know in the XT3 it doesn't work. So you need this little $15 adapter to make that work.
Interesting.
I am underslinging in the same way that Caleb is. I've got that 10-foot cable. I've got that little Oben mini ball head.
Samesies. You and I
Maybe.
are like mentally on the same page there.
And by the way, I'm listening to the audio, and I'm not having a problem hearing whether or not there's a problem with the audio because I got my Sennheisers. There you go. And here's where I am pivoting. Here's where I'm detouring. Okay, I know that I'm a Westcott fanboy and all of that stuff, and I have all my products, but I needed to come up with a tunable light source that I could use as a key out of the box that was lightweight. And so this IntelliTech, which I think I'm going to have them send me so I can check it out, is a 2-foot by 2-foot. It folds down to a 12 by 12 to a 1 by 1. It is color tunable from like 3,000 to 10,000 Kelvin. And it is going to have a lot of output. And we're okay to plug in AC, though this is a V-mount lock version of this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
how,
and then
how does that mount on the back?
It just goes right on.
It's Velcro, believe it or not.
Velcro, and it just goes right onto a Nano stand with a a baby pin, and it comes with a softbox and it comes with a grid.
Really,
so,
$800.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Except
I'm
there's
impressed.
no way that's going to survive a Nano stand.
Well,
and I don't think the one you have comes with a softbox.
No, hold on. No, it does. You look it up right now. Look up that item number, IN1 78,000, and look it up right now. It comes with a softbox with a grid. I am not going to put the power supply on the Nano stand. That's going to sit on the floor. If I have a problem with that, then I'll eat crow because maybe the cable's not long enough to do that. But I was not planning on hanging it on the Nano stand. It was just the 2x2 sitting there, which I think would be pretty similar to your Westcott 1x2 in terms of overall weight and weight distribution. Remember, it's a square, not a rectangle. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work.
I'm really interested in that. That's. I use the Flex for all this stuff that I'm doing at the moment, and that would be.
You're right.
Really,
it's $200 off with the softbox
and the grid. And here's the other thing.
I'm big. 2x2.
Well, it's big. So I have no modifiers for this except for what comes with the light. So I'm walking in the 2x2, but that should be a pretty sufficient key. It's a lot better than the 1x1. I've heard that this light can skew slightly magenta based on the reviews, so I'd have to do some tests on that. But I think that that's easily correctable. And then, of course, our old standby, the F7 from Aperture. This is basically going to be my kicker light. It's not going to be for a fill. I could use it as a background light if I'm already getting a little kick from the environment, if there's a little natural light coming in. And then I need to have something for fill. So I'm getting the 5-in-1 collapsible circular reflector from Impact. I like this one because it has hard handles. It has handles on either side that are plastic. And that means I can get the Matthews mini grip head onto one of the Nano stands. And I have purposely chosen the Kupo visor clamp because it has a baby stud on the other side. So if I need to put a light onto something and I want a different configuration, it's giving me flexibility overall in terms of what I can do. So if I show up and I see that I'm already getting fill from the environment and I want to take that, some other light, let's say even this light up here, the IntelliTech, I could actually, clamp that to the back of a chair or something else, and I have another option for mounting my light.
Yeah.
I've got a white balance card set so I can get correct exposure. I will be shooting probably in log. So I've got a gray, white, and black card there for reference. And then again, my get out of jail free card for $4.95. What happens if my 5 nano stands don't show up and I need to shoot this interview with that 2x2 light? I have a 3/8 16 to male 5/8 stud adapter, which will go on one of my 2 tripods. And I will switch my interview to a single camera interview, and I will still be able to key my subject with that 2x2 light.
Okay.
And yes.
So interesting. So keep scrolling a little bit further up with your audio. So I'm interested in that you've talked about having some redundancy there for the light stand. Talk me through your when all these cables, these very weedy little cables break for your mic.
Well, I have a wireless lav system, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
That's the
well, I gotta say, very interesting. All of us, very, very interesting.
Oh my goodness.
That was something else.
This is how small those tripods are, by the way. They're teeny tiny when they break down. They're about that size.
You have a phenomenal key setup. I'll give you that. I don't think that's quite gonna fly on that Nano because I've got that light and it's a wonderful light. It's wonderful. It's one of the reasons I haven't had a lot of Westcott lights because like it's a beast. It's up there with the 120D with output. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the stand mount setup and that controller is like
it's gigantic.
Mega.
Hey,
mega
I'm taking the chance there. I'm looking for something that will solve what I think is the problem I'm trying to solve, and finding something that in the price point might work for what I'm trying to do. I did read that it's a bit of a beast when it comes to the whole system. And so, that was the thing that was sort of the big question mark for me in terms of, am I going to be able to get away with that? But I do have options with a little bit of grip inside of the kit that will give me, are you going to go grab the light so we can see it?
No, excuse me.
Oh.
My battery died in the middle of your whole setup. So I had to kind of switch things up.
Yeah. So that's basically what I'm thinking. There's other options. There's other ways we could do this, but at $800, it seemed like I was going to have to come up with, some creative ways if that Nano stand didn't work when I was there. But if I had a little bit of extra money, I would have thrown a couple of BOA bags into the kit too, so I could put some dirt on the bottom of those Nano stands.
But I think what's interesting as well with these is that there's quite a lot of the options that are available from, say, Amazon for equivalent products that we could save that little bit more again.
If we went Amazon, this would be a whole nother ball game. But I kind of like B&H because it. Well, I don't know.
It's a good level playing field, isn't it? But it's there's a few things that I've noticed as we've been going through that I just thought I could have saved $100 here
all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was things that you did, Caleb.
I mean, I would have gotten shower curtains, and I would have gone all kinds of cheap, crazy on you
guys. Yeah,
totally.
I would have found a person on Amazon and ordered them
for Ben and given it to Ben.
Yeah,
because he needs a person with his setup. But the reality is, what we're trying to do here, I think all three of us with these kits, is we're trying to show up with something that has a level of professionalism that, that we could walk into that space and there wouldn't be some, funny looks going on.
And so let's kind of recap here. Let's talk cameras real quick. Fuji took it away today. I think that's interesting. Great color, great. I mean, both of us could have shot 4K.
Yep.
You especially with the higher data rates with your XD3 and your
I'm getting a great AF system.
Yep. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, no, I was gonna.
You've got the autofocus.
Yeah, but nailed. Not huge. But the XT3, I looked at that and I was struggling to put a kit together to keep that in budget, and and it was this. How is the XT3's autofocus?
Amazing.
When you go out of frame. if your talent
compared to Canon, I'm still going to say if you've got dual pixel, that's going to trump Fuji still.
Yeah,
totally. I agree.
Right.
You guys did much better on lenses, by the way. I mean, I just, I settled.
You got
for
2
two kit
zooms.
lenses.
You're kind of
I did,
stuck with
and
that 4, depending on your setup.
They're 2 of the best kit lenses that are out there.
Yeah.
And they have IS, so I can do some handheld and get some decent stuff. But it is a compromise. But I think for interview style stuff, it's okay. I'm definitely leaning more on 2.8 now with good AF systems than I am 4. But I think you guys did much better on the lenses.
Ben's got an actual cinema camera. Both of you, I got wrecked when it comes to audio. You guys both had way better audio setups. I will say though, I feel like my key light's gonna beat everybody out. Because I have what did you have, Ben? Did you have something? What was your?
I had the 120 as my key.
With the Mini 2.
With the Mini, and that was it for diffusion?
Which is, small. Yeah, so I
you're
have
done
to say,
unless you're close.
The Mini 2, I just want to say the magic cloth on the Light Dome 2 is so much better than the cloth that's in front of the Mini 2.
Well, the Mini, the problem is the size.
I know, but they should have put magic cloth in front of it. It's got that hotspot even with the baffle.
But even with that, like, it's just not
too small.
I don't know. For me, it's just too small.
I was going down your route. By the way, with the 4x4, Caleb, for sure. But then I just couldn't do it, and then I couldn't make it all work and make it.
So I bin them.
Yeah, it's going to take me 2 hours to build the 4x4 with all the tiny pieces.
Doesn't matter though. It's. I was going down the same route, putting frames and then fabrics on, and then in the end, I just figured that if you could put the softbox on, and I could have gone for the big softbox
size though, right?
But size exactly. So that's why I'd gone for the smaller one. But it then frees up a stand,
right? And do you ever consider using a 5-in-1 reflector, like the internal? I feel like you need more than one. They're never quite like diffused.
Yeah, they're not heavy. Yeah,
enough. And then of course the F7 for our 3rd or 4th time in a row. All of us chose the F7,
and that's what's lighting me right now. Bounced off a big bit of beadboard up there. I love that thing. That travels with me. It's
when that $80 RGB kit little puppy drops too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Tripod. So there's a question there about thoughts on the Felix P360 LED. I had that. I had that in my list, and then it was just trying to balance things around, and took that out and left the F7.
I love the Felix P360s. They come in so many different variations now that you have to be careful because the differences in features and even some of the outputs are different from the models. I have a 3-light P360 Pro kit, which does have plus-minus green shift. It has the highest output of those lights. But for $355, even the lower-end ones are great. They're not going to give you the type of output that any of our key lights are giving us though. And you're now on 2 stands bouncing into something or through something. And I don't think they're efficient for that. They're great kicker lights. They're great if you want to bounce them off of your fill, like your fill card or your reflector, because sometimes when you have a key source and you put a reflector in for fill, it's just not enough. So my trick is you take that fill card or that reflector, and you take a smaller source. That could be the F7, that could be the Felix, that could be the Luxley, it could be anything. And you basically match the color temperature of your key light, wherever that is. And then you just fill whatever that fill is with this light, and you just dial the intensity up or down. So you can basically dial in your fill, but it's a much, much larger source, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We got a question here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ben. Go.
No, I was just going to probably the same question about the runtime on the Fuji cameras for recording.
So I'm looking up the XT2. Jem, you want to talk about record limits on the XT3 length?
Well, we've got the I can do 4K for up to 30 minutes on my camera.
30 minutes, got it.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining it's the same because there's a set of firmware updates that went out to both cameras, removing that silly 4 gig silliness. But I think we're still capped at 30 minutes.
Yep.
So
yeah, which Ben doesn't have a problem with one of his cameras, but he does with the other.
Yes.
And he doesn't have dual pixel CMOS AF in one of his cameras because it's a 5D Mark II, not a 5D Mark III.
And
No,
but the C100 is that dual pixel, or do you not?
Yeah, but it's not.
Frame.
It's only center frame.
Oh, right.
I don't think you can consider that camera to be having a usable AF for what we're talking about.
I agree with you.
I think that we're talking about a fairly controlled situation where we can probably plant our talent in a spot.
Yeah.
So you're not.
So Ben
you're not
has a crew of 5 people, and you and I are showing up and hiring a second crew member.
You just can't shoot it you can't shoot wide open. That's the only thing. You're going to have to give the talent a little bit of wiggle room for.
So maybe you could have used those kit lenses that I had and shot it in f4 without your 85-1.4 lens.
Chris says C100 wins then for the interview setup. Is a Mark 1 for the C100. That's what Ben picked, Richard. And then someone, Shiznuts, mentioned the SL60, which I think would have been a great way for Ben to save some money. And I should have thought of that too, because it's like a 120D, but way cheaper. Power, AC power only. Not quite there with the CRI, but
that's all right for what we were doing.
Yeah, exactly. If I buy CameronFlask.com on Google domains and donate it, can you guys start posting these setups as blog posts? Blogger plus Google domains, $12 a year. Okay, Joseph is what? Yeah,
maybe. I think, yeah, maybe
I don't know if I want to
just
say
buy
this
the
on
domain.
air, but if Jem did a follow-up video going through our kits and a quick recap, I think that video could do well.
Yeah. Why don't you send me your PDFs, and maybe I'll do that next week. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And then I will just say this. One thing I'd like to talk about, and it's not something that we do very often. I've been watching these Godex V1 and Profoto A1, this round strobe, stuff happening. And the one from Flashpoint, which is Adorama's version of the Godex V1, is coming out soon. I think I might get that and start to do some stuff for the Fuji camera. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be something we'll talk about in the future and see how that goes. But we could bring some photography into this maybe at some point. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah.
That's still a good chunk of my income is still stills. So yeah, definitely
pitter patter, children above the not for me right now. They're all at school, but for Mr. Pike over there. And I see Ben in the very near future, horizontal on a bed, going to sleep.
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in your mind right now, but stop it.
No, to go to sleep. It's like it's past 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm saying that we're wrapping up. Caleb, take us out, my friend. Take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure it is to spend this hour with you. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry we didn't have a longer Q&A. We'll work on that in the future. That was my bad, not wrangling us back together. Thank you so much for joining us. We do this every single week. This time, 6 p.m. Eastern. No. Yep. 6 p.m. Right, Jim? I'm breaking here. 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 to 7 p.m. every single week here. Please subscribe if you're new and let us know. And we'll see you guys next week. What do you think, gentlemen? One last cheers.
Love you guys. Yep.
Love you too.
And, I already drank that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've got nothing left.
All right, to Lotus of Siam.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
All right, to Fuji.
To Fuji.
Okay. Yeah. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.